Good evening, beautiful souls. I am Alanisa Sada. It is a pleasure to be of service, and thank you, Shukram, for joining me. It's always a pleasure to do this. Like, it's not easy, but when I do it, I do it from a place and it makes me feel good. So I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share with you all. Today, I had a couple of things I wanted to share. Like, periodically throughout the week, I experience different messages that I really want to share. However, they don't always come through for the video form, but I post on my Facebook, I post in my groups, and so I still serve, However, for today, I've really been, my spirit is like connected to the term, the spiritual nomad. And it's like the craziest thing to look up the term and then find an actual formatted text, not textbook, but like a text of somebody else having thought of a blog or something that someone else came up with the term or even used the term, and it's not just me. So when I found it, it was like refreshing, because in my mind, I'm like, I wonder if there's a such thing as a spiritual nomad. I don't even know what made the term so relevant or necessary, but when I looked it up, I did find that the term in itself references those people or those of us coming through the awakening process and then experiencing certain discomforts or experiencing certain different traumatic events that really propel us further into our awakening. It did not say that it was comfortable. It said that it was actually painful, and in some cases it's unnerving. And so I enjoyed what I read. I loved what I posted, and honestly, that's what brought me right here, because I wanted to further expand on it and elaborate as best I could from what it is that speaks to my soul and that I wanted to share with you all. And so basically, for my basic interpretation of a spiritual nomad would be that of a person who's not connected to any one thing, but knows there's something. The soul is not comfortable with the physical experience, and for a lot of people, they're having trouble transitioning from being a physical being, exteriorly driven, materialistic, or even just exteriorly beautifying themselves less, not really having the energy or wanting to appeal exteriorly to people, but they're not doing it from a place of I'm ugly. It's just I don't have the interest. I'm not concerned with how people see me. And then there's those of us who really, that was like the last thing to go. It's not that I don't care about how people view me. It just became less of a focal point. But how I felt on the inside was so much of a sense of urgency that I really started to pay more attention to that. And so you have two different, to me, variations of a spiritual nomad, because you could be on the inside trying to express yourself externally, or you could be an external being trying to express yourself from the internal part. Like, the internal part of you, your soul, is trying to express itself. And so I think for a lot of people, the transitional period is not going to be easy, but it's doable. And my best advice to anybody who feels like that this resonates with them and they are in that gray area, because the spiritual nomad to me is not for certain one way or the other. You're experiencing something, that's for sure. It is a process. It is a journey. It is not complete. And now you've come to a place. My husband's coming in. You're not complete, but you're still going through it. However, so long, beloved. Really, I'm doing my YouTube video, so I need you to stay out of my stuff.
You live?
I know I'm on my YouTube, and I'm not stopping it because I don't edit.
You live now?
No, I just told you. Why are you making me? I can't talk to this whole person just walked in and I'm in the middle. And I'm not cutting. I don't edit. I am not. However, for the purpose, the purpose, Makara, cut the fan on for me, please. The purpose of the term is a temporary title. A temporary label. And I'm not a fan of labels. If you ever see my video on labels, I'm not a fan of labels. Thank you. However, with the term or the label spiritual nomad, it does help shine a light on why there's no real connection to the spiritual process, in a sense, not from an internal place, not from an external place. It is literally, in all essence, it is a form of shifting. Literally a form of shifting. That's how I identified it. And even more so, when I got finished reading what I read and then posting what I posted, there was this part of my soul that was like, hey, go and research the ascension process. And I'm like, that's like so 2 years ago. And I'm like, okay, what is this for me, or what is the message behind it? And then I did it. Of course, I don't not listen to my soul. Listen to me. That's my goal for myself, is to get to the place where I only listen to my soul. I only feed my soul. I only focus on the things that make me happy. See this face? See how I say my soul when my face turns into this? There is a part of you that literally only wants to see you like this, that only wants to feel this abundant love and oozing of worth and discovery and things like that. So my soul sends me on this mission to go and to study the ascension process. And I've already did it. And what was funny is when I heard this stuff, I heard the messages and I normally take notes. However, I didn't feel like I needed to. But I thought that sounds like shifting. The ascension process, in essence, is like when you are trying to connect, or you are connecting with higher dimensions in your consciousness, and you're ascending. Like, you literally, inside of your body, your being is actually like expanding. It's an energetic polarity type feeling. You feel like boats, and you feel magnetic in a sense. And I know I did, at least when I had mine, and I'm not going to go into that. It's kind of creepy. But I remember experiencing my own physical Kundalini experience, or my awakening, or my ascension process, or at least a big one that let me know, hey, this is different. And so when I studied the ascension process, I realized that is another shift. It literally is a shift. It is your soul taking a closer seat to expressing itself, a closer positioning within your physical being. Energetically, it's not that I'm trying to think. It's like there's this little part of you that is a spark, literally just a spark, and then the more you feed that spark, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that's your soul. Your soul is inside of you, and it has been ignited at some point, hence the awakening process and this continuous perpetuation to experience. And it's a constant hunger or wanting to know more. You're feeding the spark by embracing the process, one, accepting that there's something more, and then going out and seeking and searching and putting your dots together, putting everything together, making this make sense for you. And so you're feeding that spark. Well, at some point, your physical being is not big enough to hold all of that energy inside of you, and you start to basically expand. Energetically, you're expanding, you're feeding your soul, which is creating an energetic expansion within you, and then more things become magnetic to you and draw to you. And giving time and cultivation, coaching for some people, counseling for others, you basically develop a better understanding of what your soul is saying, or how it's trying to express itself. And you learn to feed that. You learn to specifically feed the need and the desire, that purpose of your soul wanting to express itself. And then that's when you get to the place where your understanding turns into an understanding. And so the spiritual nomad, to me, that term is nothing short of another label, one, to help you further understand that you are going through a process. The nomad is known to be like a drifter or a wanderer of sorts that doesn't have a destination. They're not physically looking for a place to be. They're literally comfortable with wandering and drifting, and they settle where they want. However, they do tend to end up far away or on their own in isolation at times, but they're happy, they're comfortable, they're content, or they just learn to accept where they've positioned themselves, and they evolve from that point, and then they go wherever they go. So spiritually, that's what your soul is doing. Your soul is calling you, hey, I need to be expressed. I need to do it one way or another. It could be from an external point, from an external perspective, trying to internalize your soul, basically trying to internalize and become more embedded, ingrained in you, so that you can live from that place. However, then you have the internal part of you, which is your soul, in essence, trying to be externally expressive. And so it's a pulling. It's a constant perpetuation of what's right, what's wrong, or what's not working, or what's better for you, or And I would like to be less politically correct and say higher and lower self, but I don't believe that there's a such position. You are an all-encompassing one person, and in essence, you are whole. You just haven't discovered all your parts yet. So I don't want to divide you and say your higher self, your lower self. I want to say that your internal self and your external selves are trying to merge themselves before your greater good. And so again, the spiritual nomad is a process in which you're doing that. It's just you need to now take some notes and notice how you feel mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally at whatever given time you feel yourself trying to break down, or something is a challenge and it's not resonating, or you're not comfortable, regardless of if it's at work, home, with your friends, whatever period in the day. Get a notepad. Literally have a notepad on deck and just learn to drop down mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional, and where you are. And that's a holistic assessment. Why not try to capture as many of those things that are perplexing you, or creating a perplexed state of being when you're having it, versus coming out of it, or at least attempting to come out of it, and then having to go back and jog your own memory. What did I do? Where was I at? Oh my God, it was such a bad day. We can always remember the moments when we're about to break, bend, or fold under pressure. However, very rarely do we get to a place where we want to kind of pay attention to it for our own benefit, our own greater good. That is the beauty of the shift, or the process of shifting. You do need that. You need all of that little information. You need all of those moments. You need all of those notes to basically get to a place where you recognize, okay, I didn't like that. That's not an experience I want to continuously have, and I don't wish to develop a propensity, a natural state of being, experiencing that experience. That is so important. So the spiritual nomad, the ascension process, and then shifting is literally like one part of the same process. Three parts of the same process, and you just have to pay attention. Now, if you've reached this point, it's now time for you to start paying attention, specifically paying attention. It's so funny. I was creating a meme using my daughter, who wanted cookies, and she says, "Can I have a cookie for snack?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So she goes, I give her the cookie jar, she gets a paper towel, and she goes to get a cookie. Well, the first cookie she wanted, however, then she realizes that there's chocolate cookies inside of the cookie jar. And so now she wants to take all of the cookies out of the cookie jar to get to the chocolate cookie. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I want the chocolate one. And I'm like, so you're going to take all the cookies out of the cookie jar to get to the chocolate cookie? And I want to say it's only like 2 chocolate cookies in the whole jar. So she literally is digging her arm in the jar for this chocolate cookie. She only wanted 1 too. How funny. If there's 2 in there, you working this hard, you might as well get 2. That's what I'm thinking. Like, but she just wanted 1 chocolate cookie. And so I'm thinking again in terms of the spiritual nomad and the ascension process, and then shifting, and then life in its grand essence. We always want things. They show up. They may not show up how we want them to show up. We're not accepting of them because in essence it's not specifically what we wanted. So we go into the cookie jar digging around, pulling things out, and not checking to make sure. We're not specifically setting our intentions to make sure that what it is we want, that's what we're getting out. So yeah, no, it's time now for all of you beautiful souls to take an inventory. Take an assessment of your soul expressing itself, whether internally, externally. Get you some paper, get you a notepad. It doesn't have to be a big notepad. Something very small you can keep in your pocket for men. Something even smaller for women because the purse is getting kind of heavy. You got everything in there, and if you like me, you got everything and something for everyone inside of your purse. So adding a notebook to that is going to be that much more. Plus a pen. Or you could be like my husband, who does everything out of his phone. And I'm like, put the thing down. It's like a third arm, or a fourth arm, I guess, for a guy. Weird, whatever. However, take notes. Get to a place where you want to know what those thoughts are, what those emotions are, where you physically at in your being, essentially, that is creating whatever disturbance or distortion or vibrational shift. And get to a place where you want to understand that and you see it. The more you work at writing it down, the better you're going to be at feeling it vibrationally when it's coming. That feeling is coming, whether it's coming over you or it's coming towards you. Because if it's external, it's kind of coming towards you. If it's internal, it's normally going to come over you, which is really weird. Not a lot of things from inside really come this way. They normally feel like they're like hugging you or like taking over you or weighing on you. Those are the normal feelings, physical feelings of that. And so get to a place where you're comfortable enough to admit to yourself, at least on paper, maybe not out loud or in front of a mirror or in front of a camera to post for the whole world to see. But get to a place where you want to know, hey, this is a real life feeling and I want to get better at acknowledging it because I'm growing, I'm expanding, And so I really hope that this information serves you. It is always a pleasure to be of service. And I'm so grateful that, 1, I do what I do when I do it. And 2, that those of you who do connect with me do such a wonderful job of letting me know and making me feel as though this work that I do is definitely serving. So shukram. Thank you all. It is a pleasure. My name is Alanisa Salahaddin, and you can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Alanisa Sada, Ali L. Inside Out Beautiful is one of my groups. This Inside Out Beautiful is the Therapeutic lifestyle group, and then I have the Divinely Guided Collective. And please, excuse me, that was not sexy. My belly. I don't know. He didn't make a debut today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If it's not for you, but you know somebody who seems to have this place in this great area and they may need clarity, please share my video with them. It's possible that something I said may resonate with their soul. Something I've said on any of my videos may resonate with them. So don't keep it to yourself. We're all here trying to make a difference uniquely as ourselves, individually as ourselves, but collectively we are serving the same beautiful, wonderful source creator, God. And so let's do our best to make sure that we're giving and receiving love. So on that note, again, I'm Alanisa Sada. Thank you so much for watching. Give me love. My back popped, but it felt good. But thank you all. Wholeness and divine love. Later.